So if that wasn't the cheesiest thing you've seen, I don't know what's going to be, so sorry about that. Had you guys been in class, I would have done this. I would have had a voluntario víctima, something like that, to do my commands for me. So since I didn't have that, I had to do it somehow else. So what I would like you to do is I'm going to go through those again. And I would like you to check what you wrote down on your notes in that the handout that I asked you to print out. I would like you to compare what you have to what you see here in the left column. So the commands that I gave myself, here they were. Levántate. If you didn't have it written like that, or if you missed, let's say the accent mark, because that's a super important part of it, go ahead and add that now. Next one, then I said to myself, camina a la puerta, which I did. Corre a la pizarra, which was sort of what I did, but just al papel instead, I guess. Escribe tu nombre en el papel. Dibuja un televisor en la pizarra. Now, before we go any farther, look at what's happening here. Camina, corre, escribe, dibuja. Those are not new verbs. You've seen those verbs before. What form of the verb are you noticing they're in? He, she form, right? Except we're talking to a person that's a two-person. We're talking to somebody that's familiar. That's what these kind of commands are. There's a few kinds of commands. We're talking about familiar ones. So why am I using he, she forms to talk to a two-person? Let's see if we can continue here. Let's do the rest of this list. Then I said, bórralo, porque es muy feo. El televisor es muy feo. Bórralo, erase it. Notice another thing that's going on with these commands. The very first one I gave you, that I gave myself, levántate, bórralo. Notice what happens. The te and the lo, look where they are. And also look what happens when I add that pronoun to the end. Look what I also had to add. The accent mark. Let's keep going. Háblame en francés. Hopefully you recognize my Hamilton lyrics. Dile buenos días a tu esposo. Ay, buenos días, mi amor. Okay, so dile. Now, tell him. Tell him. Di is the command tell. To him is the le. Put them together, you get dile. Tell him. Dile buenos días. So di. Now, di comes from decir, right? To say, to tell. Okay, wait a second. That doesn't sound like dice, the he, she form. No, there's going to be a few irregulars. We're going to see that here a little bit later. Next one. Baila la Macarena. Very poor attempt, but I gave it a shot. Tose, estornuda, achú. Right? Pon tu mochila en tu escritorio. Now, I think it's pretty obvious what that was. And it looks somewhat similar to the verb poner, except it's not. What the other forms look like, it's not the he, she form of that. That would be pone. And it's not quite like that. Just like di and pon, there's a few that are irregular, and that's one of them. Toca la ventana. And then finally, siéntate. Notice the bookends. Levántate, siéntate. Notice that the te is smashed at the end of that. Those are things that you're telling somebody to do to yourself. Get yourself up, sit yourself down. That's why they're reflexive. Notice where the te goes. Okay, now however, on the right hand side here of that handout that I asked you to print out ahead of time, there are often commands that we have as affirmative commands, like do it, like hazlo right there. But sometimes you want to give somebody a negative command. In fact, you might want to tell somebody, don't get up. Don't walk to the door, right? So let's take a second, and on the right side, I would like you to fill in those as you see those, and I want you to think about the pattern that you see developing. Wouldn't it be great if, to make a negative command, all you had to do was put a no in front? That's not how you do it. So let's show it. I'll show you how the first one goes. So if I want to tell somebody, instead of get up, levántate, I want to say do not get up. Okay, you're going to pass out. Don't get up. Don't get up. No te levantes. Go ahead and write it in. No te levantes. No te levantes. Don't walk to the door. No camines a la puerta. No camines a la puerta. Don't run to the board. No corras a la pizarra. No corras a la pizarra. Now, before we go any further, take a look at what you see a la izquierda, a la derecha. What's going on? What's different with that? What is the verb to walk? Caminar, right? Look at camina. There was the A at the end of that. Look at this. No camines. Es. No corras. What's the verb to run? Correr. ER verb. Look what's at the end of that. No corras. This is an AR verb. It takes an ES. This is an ER verb. It takes an AS. Notice what's happening here. Tell me what you think the next one would be. Don't write your name on the board. Escribir is an IR verb. What would you do with that? Ay, no escribas tu nombre. Did you get that right? No escribas. Dibujar is to draw. What would be don't draw a TV set? You're a horrible drawer. Don't do it. Don't draw. No dibujes un televisor. I think you guys are getting this. Okay, now careful on the next one. Borrar is to erase. Look what we did. Bórralo. Levántate. Look what happened with no te levantes. Look where that te went. Okay, now see if you can come up with don't erase it. It's going to look like no lo borres. Okay, look where the placement all is of those pronouns, and also look at the end of the verb borrar becomes no lo borres. Es. Dibujar, ar. Borrar, ar. Look what's at the end of those. Háblame en francés. There's my little me attached to that. Don't talk to me in French. Esta es la clase de español. Don't talk to me. No me hables en francés. No me hables en francés. Okay, the next one. Don't say good morning. Don't say, you're never going to get this in a million years, so I'm going to give it to you right now because it's a little bit, yeah. Let me just give it to you. Don't tell me. Don't tell him. No le digas. No le digas. Now, after you've written it in, pay attention to what digas looks like. Is there a form of decir, say, tell? Is there a form that looks like digas? What's the yo form of decir? Yo digo. Remember that? Back to 101. Remember digo. I say, I tell. Yo digo. Look what happened to that. Looks very similar, but decir is an IR verb. There's my AS at the end. Next one, don't dance. You're a horrible dancer. Do not dance the Macarena. No bailes la Macarena. Toser is an ER verb. What's going to be the negative command? Don't cough. You're getting germs everywhere. No tosas. It's fitting your pattern, right? It's fitting the pattern. Estornudar is an AR verb. Don't sneeze. No estornudes. No estornudes. Okay, now, this might be a tricky one. Don't put your backpack on the desk. Now, remember back up to dile, no le digas? The yo form of decir was digo. We have other go verbs, right? Like tengo, vengo, salgo, traigo, pongo, right? Pongo. So don't put your backpack. See if you can come up with it before I click it in. No pongas. There it is. No pongas. No pongas tu mochila. Don't touch the window. You're going to get fingerprints all over it. I just cleaned it. Don't touch the window. No. Okay, if I heard you say toques, you're right. However, look what's going on with the spelling of that. No toques la ventana. If you have the C in there, it's not going to be no toques. It's going to be no toses. I don't want no toses. I want no toques. So to keep that, the QU remains. And then the last one, notice the bookend was levántate, siéntate. Look what happens. No te levantes. No te sientes. No te sientes. Okay. Get out your other notes that I asked you to print and have ready, and we're going to go over those and talk about the rules to this in just a second. So I'm going to pause it. I'll come right back. Get your notes. Okay, at this point, I would have asked you to talk to your partner a little bit about what you see on the affirmative side of the commands when I tell somebody to do something, and then how that contrasts to the negative commands. And we're going to talk more about the negative commands the next time, but on the handout that I asked you to print out, we're going to talk specifically about the left side, all of the affirmative ones. How do you make an affirmative command? So go to the next slide, and yes, here it is. Los mandatos familiares. Mandatos is the word for commands. A mandate, when you give somebody a mandate, you're commanding them to do something. And keep in mind that these are familiares. They are the tu form. You can command a lot of people. If I were in class, I would command all of y'all. That would be ustedes. That's a different form of command. These commands that you're working on right now are going to be a command that you give to somebody that you know really well. Okay, so next, so what we do normally when we do a do form of the verb is there's usually an S that's associated with it, and you don't need to write all these in. I just want you to be aware that the S is a popular letter when we're talking about the do form. However, when you use commands in a do form, we're not going to use that form. Okay, we're going to change it to a different form, and if you notice the pattern, the most likely pattern in that is the él, ella, usted form in the present tense to form commands. So, habla would be the command speak. Corre, the command run. Vive would be the command live. Live in this particular dorm. Don't live in that dorm, so live. Notice it's the he, she form of that verb. Pronouns with commands. Levántate, siéntate, bórralo, háblame. As you noticed in those commands, we have attached those pronouns to the end of the command. It's not even after it, you attach it right to the end. It could be a reflexive pronoun like levántate, siéntate. It could be a direct or indirect object pronoun too. Háblame, right? You could have used that. Dile. So, go to bed. Acuéstate. Acuéstate. Brush your teeth. Cepíllate los dientes. Sorry, my dryer's done. Give me the money. Dame el dinero. Notice the verb da is give, and then add the me to the end of that. Give it to me. Dámelo. Dámelo, dámelo, dámelo. Now, another thing to notice, except for in the give me the money, except for the dame, when we added a pronoun, acuéstate, cepíllate, dámelo, we had two pronouns to the added two pronouns to that one. Notice what happens. Look at that little accent mark that becomes a part of that. Okay, to keep the stress where it normally needs to be. So let's practice here a little bit. Eat the apple. Go ahead and tell me what that command eat would be. He, she form of that verb is going to be come, right? Come la manzana. Next one, look for your books. Look for. Buscar is to look for, so the command look for your books. The he, she form of that would be busca. Busca tus libros. Busca tus libros. Order the chicken. Pedir. Pedir, to order, to ask for. Pedir. It's a stem changer in the he, she form, right? So, same in the command form. Pide el pollo. The E to I in the stem change form. Pide el pollo. The command call the doctor. The verb llamar, to call somebody. Llamar, me llamo, right? I call myself. So, llamar is the verb. Call the doctor. Llama al médico. Llama. Llama. Notice that these are, again, all he, she forms of the verb. Try the cake. Probar, to try it, test it out. Prueba. Prueba el pastel. Prueba el pastel. Wake up. I'm asking you to do this to yourself. So notice that there's going to be a reflexive pronoun smashed on the end of that. Despiértate. Despiértate. Call me. Okay, we already had call the doctor. Llama al médico. Now not call the doctor, but call me. Notice that little me. Where's that going to go? We're going to smash it on the end. So, llámame, llámame. Order it, not order the chicken. Okay, we had pide el pollo, but now we're going to take out the chicken, replace it with an it, and it becomes pídelo, pídelo, pídelo. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide, and then I am going to advance to all of these, and because we're running out of time. Hacer, tener. Yeah. And I want you to notice that the irregularities that go along with some of these verbs happen in the verbs that we are mostly irregular with. So we're going to stop there. I'm out of time.